Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I survived the night, if you know what I'm saying. That's a little reference to the last episode. But in that last episode, I basically ended the video by saying that if I died last night, I did not kill myself. Now, the good news is that I did not die last night. The bad news is that there are people out there that actually believe Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. Now, I believe I've said this before, but I would love to be ignorant. I really would. I have a feeling, actually I know for a fact, that ignorant people are the happiest people. Meaning you read on the news or you see on the news or you're scrolling TikTok, whatever, and you hear that the politicians that you voted for in the last election, and maybe we'll vote for again in the next upcoming election, were on an island where they were fucking kids. And you just scroll on past. You just scroll on past. You're like, oh, well, sometimes I scratch my balls and sniff it. So we all do weird things. This is, I'm sorry to say, I feel like this is the average person. The average person. I mean, think about the creation of the country. Think about the creation of the country. If you had the founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, John Adams, all these people, all these men, all these manly men sitting around a table trying to create a country, if there was like a news story, like a credible news story saying that all of these guys were like fucking kids, America would not exist. The people back then would have been like, okay, that's weird. Get these guys out of here. Get these guys out of positions of power. Now it's like we promote these people. It's like you can't even be in Congress unless you fuck kids. That's a requirement. And that is kind of how the inner circle works. Meaning, if you want to have access, if you want the funds to run for political positions, if you want, the inside scoop on insider trading and all these deals, all these contracts, all these money-making opportunities, you have to be compromised in some way. It's like killing Caesar. Everybody's guilty. Everybody had to stab Caesar at least one time. That way, if anyone got picked up and questioned, they wouldn't break because they were guilty as well. So that's kind of what we have now. And this is not meant to be like inspiring. This is like just further evidence that we are fucked. Back in the day, it was like, and when I say back in the day, I mean like 250 years ago, politicians were like, they worked on a farm. Like they grew up, they were born in Kentucky. They grew up in Kentucky. They lived their adult life in Kentucky. They had a farm in Kentucky. They got elected by the people of Kentucky, went to Washington, D.C. for like 4 years, and then went back to Kentucky, worked on their farm in Kentucky, and then died in Kentucky. Now it's like people born in Washington, D.C., and they're interested in politics in high school, and there you go to political science for college, and then they get an internship at some congressperson's thing, and then they get some local election, and then they move up, and they move up, and they move up, and then they die in fucking Congress. This is not how the system was meant to be. Career politicians. And so that's why I'm saying, like, this whole Epstein thing, people think there's going to be a conclusion to this. That's the thing. People think that any day now, the smoking gun's going to come out. Guys, the smoking gun has been buried for a decade. It's no longer smoking. It's just some rusty hunk of metal. That's a pretty good analogy. That's pretty good. I should be a poet. Anyway, guys, the evidence is controlled by the government. The government releases what they want to release. Do you think that they're going to release anything incriminating? Anything. And this isn't even a Trump thing, because Biden was in office when the whole Epstein shit went down. He didn't release anything either. I'm telling you, it's like everyone is in on this. This is truly a bipartisan affair. The only thing that the Democrats and Republicans agree on is that Epstein shit is never coming out. Never. It's never coming out, because every single person is guilty. It's just how it is. Now, completely unrelated. Last episode, I was talking about the island itself. And it's just such like a fascinating concept. You know, when you're doing illegal shit, like, for example, fucking kids, you don't want a lot of witnesses. That might surprise some of you, but that's true. It's you want to avoid that, and so you purchase a private island. And you know, this is my thing. This is my thing. There are a lot of sick people in the world. There's a lot of people who commit mass murder. There's a lot of people who are into children. There's a lot of people who, rape people. But they don't have access to that kind of money. Like the KKK does not have their own island where they can go and they can, preach and practice, lynching people. It would be a big issue if they did. It would be a big issue if the leader of the free world, if the largest government in the history of the world was caught up in this kind of stuff. Good thing they're not. But that's the problem here, folks. It's not the actual deed that was done. It's heinous. That's bad. It's more of the people that are committing this heinous deed. They're untouchable. The money that these people have, the power that these people have, the influence that these people have, they are truly untouchable. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that we need to overthrow the government, because I don't believe we need to do that. I believe that things kind of correct themselves. Maybe not, immediately, but eventually all of this will, like I said, there's not going to be a conclusion. So sorry to disappoint. There's not going to be like a conclusion to this, but I truly believe that people get what they deserve eventually. Eventually. Now, it might not be the result that you're looking for, but I have faith that one day, something will catch up to these people. They'll get them on some other charge. They'll, get them on some other racketeering or insider trading or something, or the alternative is that, 250 million people just show up to Washington, D.C. armed, and that's that. I probably won't participate. Like I said, I don't really care. I'm kind of sick of being a critical thinker. I think I just want to go on to being just kind of ignorant. I want to be happy, folks. I want to be happy. So I appreciate you listening to this, and I will see you tomorrow.